From Hollywood and the four corners of the world, you asked for it. Starring Rich Little. Here's the star of You Asked For It, Rich Little.
Thank you, and welcome to the only show on television that goes anywhere in the world just because you asked for it. Tonight from the Philippines, a lesson in humility learned through great pain. An inside look at the famous Goodyear Blimp. From Japan, a fish that keeps house, and much, much more. First, Easter is celebrated in America with bunnies and colored eggs, right? But in Manila on Good Friday, the faithful reenact the Passion of Christ, an attempt to share in his suffering. The self-torture endured by these men is truly unique. Jack Smith reports because April Mullane of Falconer, New York, you asked for it.
The predominant religion of the Philippine Islands is Roman Catholicism. On Good Friday, the Passion of Christ is reenacted near Manila, as in many parts of the world. They portray the drama of the day Christ died, nearly 2,000 years ago. But here there is a significant difference. Captured by religious fervor, the townspeople live rather than play their roles, so that he can experience the same kind of suffering as Christ did. The man with the cross willingly endures humiliation and beatings. On the island of Pampango, though the church officially frowns on it, men seek expiation for their sins through intense suffering. Their bodies are bruised in preparation for a mass ritual of self-flagellation. And Good Friday turns into a festival of pain. Whips are dipped in vinegar to increase the pain and are tipped with sharp slivers of bamboo to draw blood. Some scholars say ancient superstition pushes them to seek forgiveness this way. This man heads for the sea, where his suffering will reach its peak, as salt water will aggravate his wounds, but cleanse his soul. On Easter Sunday, the island of Marinduque celebrates the Morian festival. This is a religious play about Longinus, the Roman soldier who speared Christ at the crucifixion, but whose blind left eye was miraculously cured by a drop of Christ's blood. The festival goers, who march with their faces covered and in Roman costumes, do so as an act of penance. The drama is concluded as Longinus professes his belief in Christ's divinity and his body is carried away on a shield. There are many ways to celebrate Easter. For others, Easter in the Philippines is an occasion of joy with familiar costumes of a giant Easter egg and bunny. And you saw the contrast because you asked for it.
That just shows how much religion is a matter of individual beliefs. And we all celebrate it, of course, in our own way. Coming up next, a male fish in Japan who never heard of equal rights. We shall return.
And now back to Rich Little.
This fish is male, and he never heard of equal rights for his sex. Because in the world of the Japanese stickleback fish, the male is the homemaker and protector of the young. Our Dale Haramoto brings us the story from Japan because Senior Hiscox of Littleton, Colorado, you asked for it.
In this quiet country pond lives an extraordinary creature, the small and spiny stickleback fish. While most fish leave their young unprotected, the ingenious stickleback builds a nest to ensure the safe laying and hatching of his offspring. It's the male who collects the leaves and stems of water plants and then pieces them together into a sturdy nest. Here, the long building process is seen through time-lapse photography. This represents 5 hours of real time. Shaping the nest properly may take many hours. It is designed for strength more than beauty. With the foundation completed, the male circles the nest, coating it with a secretion which glues the plant materials together and secures the walls. Now he has only to persuade a fertile female to lay her eggs inside his nest. But persuasion amongst the stickleback does not come easy. The males will coax and sometimes even force their partner into the nest. But most often, they'll simply rub their spine up against the female's stomach. If she does not flee, it is a signal of her acceptance and readiness. Returning to the nest, she will lay her eggs and he will fertilize them. But she will not stay to see the results of her effort. For the lone father, child raising has begun. Here in front of the nest, he spins his fin rapidly, sending oxygen so that the eggs may hatch. Enemies, including other sticklebacks, are kept away from the nest by the protective father. Even the mother is now regarded as an unwelcome visitor, and she is kept out by force. Within 10 days, the simple eggs have begun to take on a recognizable form, but they're still unable to swim. This falling egg is caught in the mouth of the always watchful father and returned safely to the nest. After 2 months, the young sticklebacks can swim alone. They have shed the confines of their safe nest, totally unaware of the effort that went into building it. Exhausted from his labors, the father dies, but the rewards of his work are now swimming on to duplicate his triumph, because you asked for it.
Well, now I know where they get the expression, "Those kids will be the death of me." That stickleback is one crazy fish. We're going inside a monster, and one that's almost extinct at that. What is it? Well, it's probably one of the most famous airships in America, the Goodyear Blimp Columbia. This is one of several blimps maintained by Goodyear and among the few remaining dirigibles in the world. Once these mighty monsters of the air played an important role in world transportation, but today they're used mainly for advertising. Our Dale Haramoto tells us the inside story of the blimp because Corinne Brawley of Anaheim, California, well, you asked for it.
Some days, the western sky is so clear you could practically see forever, unless something happens to block your view. Something like the Goodyear Blimp Columbia. Actually, there are 4 blimps in operation, 3 in the United States and 1 in Europe. They're the only blimps in the world that operate on a regular year-round basis. Each airship is staffed by a crew of 23, including 5 pilots, a tractor-trailer rig loaded with maintenance gear, and a ground crew bus. Goodyear uses blimps for advertising and public relations these days, but at one time, lighter-than-air vehicles were used to carry passengers. The first power-driven blimp was built in 1852, and since then, many variations have dotted the world's skies. Germany used them in World War I to bomb the British Isles, and during the Second World War, the United States used them to search and destroy enemy submarines and to protect ships and convoy. By 1962, the Navy had phased out its blimps. The Army hadn't used them since the 30s. But each evening, just before dusk, the Columbia and its sister ships are brought into port for a highly sophisticated mission. Boxes and boxes of computer equipment are carefully brought on board and locked into place. They're connected by 80 miles of wiring to the 7,560 lamps which cover both sides of the ship in a grid measuring 105 feet long, 24.5 feet high. An auxiliary jet turbine generator provides the power, and it's all controlled by a computer, operated tonight by Stan Pike.
The lights are controlled mainly by magnetic computer tapes that are sent to us from Akron, Ohio. They send us this tape, and we do it up on our cartridge here, and it sits on our tape transport back here, which is 2 tape reading machines, which runs one tape and then rewinds the other one so that they're alternating back and forth. All our animation is done in Akron, Ohio. It's done on a TV screen with a light pen, put on a computer tape, and then shipped to us. Now, for locally prepared messages, public service messages, we type it up on our local copy unit here, then we interrupt in between the 2 tapes and run the locally prepared messages, and then go back to the tapes.
A final check of all airship systems, and we'll be ready to go. As the ground crew moves the blimp into position, the pilot establishes the radio contact he'll maintain at all times with the airport control tower and with the ground crew. When the blimp reaches its 1,000-foot cruising altitude, its lights can be seen by people on the ground up to a mile away. Unfortunately, the blimps can't give rides to the public as they tour the country. With only 6 seats available per flight, one pilot figured that to give a ride to everyone in the city of Los Angeles, it would take 300 years. But we brought you the blimp and its spectacular light show because...
This is Jimmy Stewart. I love to fly blimps. It's the only flying machine I found that's slower than I am. Coming up next, a visit to the England of 100 years ago and the vanishing trade of the canal boat sailors who used their legs for oars.
And now back to Rich Little.
Thank you, John. This is Boris Karloff. Do you like monsters as much as I do? Scary things that go bump in the night, bizarre customs, exotic places? Well, of course you do. We haunt some of the most desolate, forbidding regions of the earth to answer your requests. So ask for something monstrous. Right? You ask for it. P.O. Box 1980, Hollywood, California 90028. And now here's Jack Smith with a remarkable story that takes us back in time. Here's Jack.
Thank you, my friend. Now, this story from 1958 tells of the way of life of the British families who used to live on canal boats. Now, we don't usually think of England as a land of canals, but there are miles of them across the countryside, and they used to carry the commerce between London and Birmingham. The boats were pulled by horses, and the scenes are beautiful. But how could a horse pull a boat through any of the dozens of tunnels along the way? Well, that's what this story is all about.
The canals of England.
Eves, we fought for nothing.
You know, Jack, you've shown a lot of spectacular film over the years, but that story I found absolutely fascinating.
Yes, Rich, it's too bad it had to end.
Well, they had a beautiful way of life while it lasted, you must say that.
They sure did.
And we had a chance to share it here on You Asked For It.
Rich will be back in just a moment with more of You Asked For It. And now, back to Rich Little.
That's our show for tonight. See you next time on You Asked For It. Good night, everybody.
This is John Harlan speaking. You Asked For It is a Sandy Frank production.